Here's a quick run through on some of the Joomla setup. We'll start with coming in to the back end, and you would type your website address /administrator. We'll bring up the login screen for Joomla. Insert your username and password. Hit enter or login. And here we have the control panel of Joomla. Here you'll see some easy icons to access some of the features of Joomla, and menus that will give you a few more options. Mainly we'll be concerned with articles and sections and categories. I'll take you through to the template just to show you. Go to Extensions and Template Manager. Here we see the assigned templates. There are a couple here that are default loaded. These ones aren't being used at present, and this is the default template here. Templates can be assigned to different pages, but that's more for developing. Now we'll click on this template just to give you an idea of. Go to preview the sections that are available in the template. It might just help with setting up articles and modules. So most of these things are set and would stay like that unless you need major development changes. And this outlines what's called the modules. This is the header, and we've set up a right header here to take the weather, then the menu. Now usually there's sections like top 1, 2, 3, banners, and later on I'll show you where the module setup is. In the middle section is the content, and the banners and other modules are set around these. If they're not used, they won't be showing, as in these photos here will go straight across because that section's not being used. So we can set up left and right columns, but if they're not used, then the copy here will push right over in this direction to the right. So that sort of shows you where, if you assign a menu to the left side, it will go into this section here down the left. If you assign a banner, some sort of graphic to banner 4, that will go here, and often it will push right across there. If you assign something to bottom 1 position and there's nothing else at bottom 2 or 3, it will push right across. But maybe you'll be concerned about the content section, which is drawn from an article. And the slideshow is in a module and it is in banner 1. It's a little bit hard to see some of these highlights they're sitting in behind. So that's, if we go back up here, that's the preview of your template, and it's assigned to every page. So we can assign different banners. If I go to another of the templates, here you can see where it could be assigned to menu items. This is where menu items are very important, and sometimes making menus just so that you can assign templates, etc. They may not be published onto the site, but you're able to assign by making a menu. Close. If we go back to the control panel, site control panel, and have a look at content and the section manager. Now this makes it really easy for you to have the content set up in a good manner. So Joomla has sample data loaded, which is recommended. So when this is done, we just unpublish this. So anything that has a tick is what is relevant to this site. So sections are a general section. Click on this one. You can add description and photo to sections, and then later on you can publish sections through the menus. Close that. To add a new section, new, name, and that's it, save. There's your section. These can be moved up and down, but the only relevance in that is when you're publishing stuff at times, moving sections up to publish before other sections or above. And you can do that by arrows here, or typing in the numbers and reordering here. And that applies to categories, articles, very similar columns for everything, where they have ID, whether they're active, the hits, the access level, the order, and whether they're published. So the sections are a way to keep things tidy. And then of course you have categories. So the categories are basically then a sub folder of the section. So really it's just a matter of keeping your content in an orderly manner, and everything needs to be categorized. But in saying that, there is an uncategorized section that's available to make an article that I will show you if you just need to set up a page that at that present time doesn't need to go in a category, or you're not sure what category. So here we've set up under adventures and broken that up into the beaches, the parks, the boat cruises, guided tours, golfing, shopping. Down here we can see destinations. So this means if you publish articles that are all in this category, for instance, where are we? Destinations, everything in animal parks, you're able to put that on one page by publishing that category, so that can be quite handy. So if we need a new category, new, type the category in here. So hit airports just for something and go to this section. So airports, we may want that in travel tips. I don't think we have that one. Save, and same as the sections, it could have a photo with it. So that's how you make a new category. Easy to turn these publish and unpublish. You can't unpublish the Joomla project one, so just leave that one. And make sure when you make a new category that you do click on this one to edit it. Put it in the right section here. So you need to make the section first so that you can then put the category into that section. This is just the order. The order can be changed here as well. So if I click that, that should pop up to there, to the top. I won't save that. So you've got save and apply. Apply button, and I'll do that now, will save the information. It tells you here, but you stay there if you want to do more close because we've already pressed the apply button. And very similar to making the content. So if we go to either the article manager or back to the control panel, and here we have the article manager. Now along the top here we have the sections, so you can filter by section, by category, the author, or the state. Now the state's probably the easiest thing. Everything that's published, which I've set up for you, everything that is published and unpublished, all the sample data from Joomla. The sample data, if you go to select state and just leave that, you'll see everything that's on the site. Now the sample data is quite handy because it actually, they are articles that show you how things are done. So if you have a look at content layouts, it'll actually explain. Close that. So you can go to the sample data. So if I go back to published, here's all my pages currently on the website, unless they are not attached to a menu. So they might still be published but not actually showing because they're not attached to a menu. They need to attach to some menu to be published on the site. And these are their IDs here, which you will use at times to assign, as in a news grab. You might say number 54, 50 and 46 articles. So that's their ID number, date they were published and who did them. Alright, so if we wanted to edit one of these articles, Thailand animal parks, we just click here. And here's our article. It's in the adventures section under animal parks. That can easily be changed. So if we need to change this to the beaches section, it's as easy as that. So back to animal parks. It's published and it's not on the front page. So that's how we assign articles to the front page. Coming soon. And if we apply that, watch down the bottom it's saving, then we will stay in this article. It was successfully saved. If we save it, it will close and go back to the list. So if I go back to that one by clicking, and you should see the editor, and what you see is what you get. Basically, if you know HTML, you can click here. So it's very similar. It is HTML. There's tables available, and there's also CSS set up, so it can be changed in the major, in the main template and CSS styles by your developer. And it's as simple as heading to, sometimes these might not show up with the correct colours to you preview it here. I'll just undo that. This preview here shows you the actual article and doesn't always reflect the CSS here, just shows you the rough layout as this is in Arial. But if you want to see the real deal, go to the preview at the top. Preview up here shows you the entire website. So if I go to animal parks, and I just added that at the bottom, so that was